Interpret the news into sign language.
The local segment of the news is brought to you by GRA. Well,
the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has patted the University of Ghana on the back for introducing the Ghana Innovation and Entrepreneurship Network program. It is a non-academic initiative seeking to foster a culture of entrepreneurship and innovation at the university.
Launching the program, Dr. Bawumia said the emergencies of COVID-19 has made it more critical for academia to partner the private sector in support of government's efforts to develop entrepreneurs who can help create jobs for economic growth.
The Ghana Innovation and Entrepreneurship Network program has been running for the past 2 years with the aim of turning innovative ideas of students into products and services for societal good. The extracurricular program and projects support creative thinking, venture creation and growth to advance innovation and entrepreneurship development in Ghana. It is expected to improve the relationship between the private sector and the university to produce graduates to meet the needs of industry. The University of Ghana believes that through the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Network, it is helping to reduce graduates into the country. Professor George Odro Nkansa is the director for the School of Applied Science and Technology and is upbeat that the new program will enable more entrepreneurs.
These initiatives will form the strategic pillars on which talents will be discovered through student challenges and faculty-focused research.
The country founder for Global Entrepreneurship Network, Mr. Stephen Jesikwa, hopes this idea will foster entrepreneurship, creative thinking, and ideas which can be transformed into job creation. The acting vice-chancellor of the University of Ghana, Professor Nana Abba Apia Amfo, said the program will promote academic excellence and innovation in the country.
The University of Ghana Innovation and Entrepreneurship Program seeks to streamline and provide essential support services to students and alumni in cross-experiential settings to enhance their creativity and competitiveness in today's complex world.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, described the program as timely and useful for employment opportunities for the increasing numbers of Ghanaian youth.
We are already in the fourth industrial revolution, and countries that are able to build systems for which we can apply AI technology and other countries to grow and grow faster. So at the end of the day, very clear that where does Africa stand, where does Ghana stand in this race that we have to develop, and therefore in this race to adopt technology and to innovate.
The UG Startup Challenge, the UG Incubator, the UG Venture Accelerator, the UG Venture Fund, and the UG Alumni Angel Investor Network will serve as the pillars through which the objectives of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Program will be achieved.
A coalition of 14 faith-based leaders across Africa have met in Accra to sign a declaration against modern slavery. The event was hosted by the Global Freedom Network, the faith arm of the international human rights group, Walk Free, dedicated to accelerating an end to modern slavery. This is the 8th signing since 2014, when Pope Francis and Grand Ayatollah Mohammed Taqi al-Modarrasi joined other faith leaders from many of the world's great religions in declaring that modern slavery must be eradicated.
Labor Organization estimates there are more than 40 million people in modern slavery conditions worldwide, which generates about $150 billion annually worldwide. Modern slavery is a violation of an individual's dignity and human rights. It also refers to exploitative practices on human lives, including human trafficking, slavery, servitude, forced labor, debt bondage, and forced marriage. In 2005, Ghana passed its human trafficking law to support the cause in eradicating modern slavery, although the practice has not been wiped out entirely. The Joint Declaration of Religious Leaders Against Slavery is the first of its kind for Africa, although it has existed since 2014, where faith-based leaders gathered at the Vatican to commit to eradicating modern slavery.
Religious leaders from across the world in issuing a public statement of your commitment to work together in spiritual and practical action to eradicate modern slavery and restore dignity to its victims.
At the signing ceremony in Accra, the founder of the Global Freedom Network, who joined virtually, said faith-based leaders can serve society better as ambassadors to help eradicate modern slavery in their various jurisdictions. Spokesperson for Ghana's National Chief Imam, Sheikh Arimayao Shaibu, said it is a moral responsibility of all leaders in society to fight against modern slavery because it is a dent on human consciousness.
We need to revisit our culture and traditions and look at the areas that opens up the avenue for modern-day slavery to be perpetrated and eradicate them or change them, modify them in such a way that it will be the avenue through which we restore dignity.
The 14 faith-based leaders span across Ghana, DR Congo, Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire. With COVID-19 restrictions in place, some leaders from other countries were not present but pledged their support to the Global Freedom Network and promised to append their signatures in due course.
Ghana holds particular significance to the historical dark legacy of slavery. We need to be aware that the effects of historical slavery are still being felt today in this country and around the world.
The signing event coincided with the launch of the Faith for Freedom smartphone app, which was developed in collaboration with faith leaders to help guide them to tackle modern slavery in their communities and congregations by creating an information bridge between those who may witness human trafficking and those in authority to take action.
As of August 3, 2021, 580 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 have been recorded in the country. As of the same date, there was a total of 844 casualties and 98,392 recoveries in the country. Overall cases reached its highest at 105,512, and Greater Accra was the most affected region. On August 2, 2021, the highest daily increase in cases was recorded in Ghana at 1,975. However, measures put in place to help curb the mode of the spread of COVID-19 are not being adhered to. GBC News correspondents in the region have been monitoring the level of compliance and say that there is general apathy towards COVID-19 protocols. There is a total disregard for the wearing of masks and the intermittent washing of hands.
In cases here in the Bono region. As of June, we have just about 8 cases, but within a period of less than 3 months, that is just June, July, August, it has registered 240 cases. So the last 2 days, the police have been out in force, trying to get people to adhere to, especially the mask wearing, and then also the other protocols.
So here in the region, as we speak, there is nothing like adherence in COVID-19 protocols in most parts of the region, in the market centers here in the Upper East region, especially in the market centers. Even in some churches, their nose mask or their face mask. And again, too, the frequent hand washing too is something that it is not happening.
With regards to the adherence to the safety protocols, it is not so good. Of course, if I am to just give it some figures, I would say about 40%. Because many of the places when you go to the fishing communities, for instance, hardly do you see people wearing it. And even in the marketplaces too, yes, you might see some few people wearing it, except for places like hospitals and other places like perhaps going to the castle and some of the tourist places. Even there, sometimes the washing of hands and all those things you don't really see. But general walking in town is something that perhaps we need to adhere with regards to wearing of the nose mask.
Even though Asante region is gaining notoriety in the new infection rate, as the region is pushing higher the national rate, as far then the mortality rate as well. But the people are simply not adhering to the protocols.
An initiative is in place in our wing in the Western North region to allow teen mothers to return to the classrooms. The plan is to give teen mothers a second chance to return to the formal school system subsequent to the birth of their babies. It is also to empower them and help them achieve academic success and social advancement. The Municipal Director of Education, Mr. Sebastian Atramadia, was speaking at a ceremony to hand over a renovated 3-unit classroom block at Kangaboy, a mining community in the Awing municipality.
Kangaboy Basic School was established in 1987 as a community day school. In 1995, the school was absorbed by the government. It currently has a pupil population of 176 and 9 teachers. The renovation of the 3 units was undertaken by Cape Coast Resources, a company engaged in mining activities. The company provided monodesk for the classrooms, fully furnished staff common room, lavatory and extended electricity to the facility. At a ceremony to hand over the renovated classroom block, the Vice President of Cape Coast Resources, Mr. Greg Smith, said the company is committed to engage in good mining practices and help develop the community. The Country Director of Cape Coast Resources extended its health policy to cover communities within its operational area.
Cape Coast Resources' first priority is the health and safety of all employees, contractors, and local communities that we operate in.
The principal of Aintree College of Education, Dr. Philip Inta, announced that the college will adopt and assist the school with teaching practices. Our Wayne Municipal Director of Education, Mr. Sebastian Atramadia, highlighted some issues contributing to high-rate pregnancies among girls of school-going age in the municipality.
The Galamsey is a threat to the girls in our community, but with the support of education, then the National Commission for Civic Education, the Information Service in our wing, we have been going round to talk to the children.
He encouraged teen girls who got pregnant in school to feel free to return to school after having their babies.
A private health facility in Accra, the Nyaho Medical Center, has been ordered to release a full folder belonging to a patient who sued the facility for negligence and misdiagnosis. The General Jurisdiction 12 Division of the Accra High Court said the applicant, a 27-year-old lady, requested for her medical folder after she alleged gross negligence and misdiagnosis from the hospital where she sought medical care during her pregnancy, but the hospital denied her request.
Documents from the court showed that the applicant requested for her medical folder from the Nyaho Medical Center after the hospital failed to detect that she had ectopic pregnancy, which nearly cost her life, allegedly. After receiving an emergency surgery at a different hospital, the patient since 2019 has been asking for her medical folder from the Nyaho Medical Center, but the hospital allegedly refused to release the medical folder despite numerous attempts. To this end, the applicant filed a suit at the High Court for redress. In court, lawyer for the applicant, Mr. Wilberforce Isaac Mensah, arguing on both procedural and substantive law, said the applicant, per Article 21(1) of the 1992 Constitution, had the right to all her medical records. He also informed the court that the Ghana Health Service has a document called the Patient's Charter, which provides the rights of a patient, including rights to his or her information from the facility, which is displayed on the website of the defendant, that is the Nyaho Medical Center. According to Mr. Mensah, once the facility has made representations, they are stopped from going back on what has been written on their website, as the patient relied on same. According to lawyer Mensah, that will amount to approbation and reprobation. The data subject whose data consent. A hospital may only prevent third parties from obtaining the full medical record, but is bound by law to make same available upon request by the patient or an order from a court. Meanwhile, counsel for the Nyaho Medical Center, Mr. Finn, said there was no other information outside of what the applicant presented to the court pertaining her treatment at the facility. In its ruling, the court, through Justice Charles Dankwa, ordered the hospital to release the full medical folder to the patient.
The Teachers and Educational Workers Union TEWU collaborates with members to help at the launch of the EI TEWU COVID initiative. The General Secretary of TEWU, Mr. Mark Dinchra Kranche, announced that 10,500 customized hand sanitizers and 125,000 pieces of disposable face masks will be distributed, especially among its vulnerable members across the country, to complement the government's efforts at fighting the COVID-19 pandemic.
The closure of schools for up to almost 6 months in order to curb the spread of the coronavirus. This greatly affected teaching and learning and disrupted the academic calendar. The virtual learning adopted by most schools was not user-friendly to most students, coupled with poor internet connectivity, especially in deprived communities. The Teachers and Education Workers Union, TEWU, is of the opinion that evidence gathered on the impact of COVID-19 on its members' education support personnel revealed that some members in the private schools suffered job losses and pay reductions. In order to avoid a situation that may lead to another closure of schools, TEWU, in collaboration with Education International African Region, has presented personal protective equipment (PPE) to its members to help contain the COVID-19 pandemic in schools. At a ceremony to launch the initiative, the General Secretary of TEWU, Mr. Mark Dinchra Kranche, said the initiative was timely and responsive given the surge in COVID-19 cases in the secondary schools in the wake of the new Delta variant.
The EI TEWU COVID-19 initiative is set up to provide continuous updates on the impact of COVID-19 on education support personnel, that is the non-teaching, through an independent and objective research, and also support the effort of government in containing the spread of the virus, especially in our second cycle institutions.
The initial number of beneficiaries is about 10,000 vulnerable education workers made up of cooks, security personnel, janitors, pantrymen and women, and gardeners.
The process of modernizing agriculture with high-tech solutions is at the junction of concrete results as an e-agriculture policy is in the offing. Whole and cutlass agriculture in Ghana may not disappear sooner since smallholder farmers are in the majority. However, multiple interventions with digital tools is set to touch operators in the agri-sector workshop in Accra.
Agriculture simply means the use of information and communication technologies to advance the sector. To the technologist, such interventions could secure optimal results with lesser resources. Digital tools applied to agriculture is in the vein of agricultural extension services, which then are able to reach out to more end users with preferred solutions. The e-agriculture workshop organized by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture saw exhibition mounted by various stakeholders. It outdoored agri-tech products and their effectiveness for agric extension. Modernizing agriculture in Ghana is heavily funded by Global Affairs Canada.
Modernization of agriculture cannot actually succeed without the ICT component being factored into it. The world is moving and we can't stay. We can't continue to do what we've been doing in the past. Therefore, there is a need to integrate modern ICT technology systems into the agriculture production.
The ICT advisor to the Agric Ministry, Dr. Kofi Annan, said the e-agriculture policy is set to deepen the transformational process of the sector making it more vibrant and market-oriented.
We must also appreciate that the people that we are dealing with, including the farmers and the market women and traders, have literacy challenges, and therefore we must, if we want to get them involved, then we should be able to come down to their level to appreciate the things that we are talking about. Else it will sound strange in their ears, and they might not be able to appreciate all the good things that we want to engage them in.
The event, attended by some directors of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, officials of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, private agri-tech companies, and Farm Radio International, underpinned innovation as the surest means of reaping better results in the very important agricultural sector.
There were 2 accidents on Friday in a community called Waterworks near Joso in the Asante Achim South Municipality of the Ashanti region. Reports from Ashanti regional correspondent Nicholas Asewusu say the first incident resulted in the death of a police dispatch rider. The dispatch rider, identified as Chief Inspector Ketri Abednego, was leading an advance convoy of the Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Alban Bagbing, to Wa in the Upper West region. A few hours later, another accident occurred at the same spot.
Meanwhile, a land train with registration number GN 867913 carrying a 40-footer container got burnt to ashes on Friday morning along the Tema motorway. The incident held up traffic for a while. According to eyewitnesses, the vehicle veered off the road to the median while the driver and his mate saw smoke billowing from the engine and escaped. 2 fire tenders from the Tema and Abelinkpi fire stations were deployed to douse the fire, but the head of the vehicle could not be salvaged. A team from the airport station of the Police Motor Traffic and Transport Department was on hand to tow the vehicle, but had to go back without the wreck. The chief inspector among the team, Eric Tano, said a different means would have to be used to remove the truck from the road since all the tires under it were bent.
Nine persons have been arrested by the police at Teshi and the Greater Accra region following the chieftaincy dispute which resulted in a violent clash in the area. 1 person is said to have sustained gunshot wound in the leg following the clash between 2 factions in the chieftaincy dispute in the area. On Thursday, 5th August, the palace of the Teshi chief priest, also known as the Wulomo Shrine, was razed down by fire. All properties in the shrine have been destroyed, leaving more than 50 persons who resided at the shrine displaced. Secretary to the Sabu Ayiku Wulomo, John Ajete Komi, says he suspects arson, allegedly undertaken by persons involved in a chieftaincy dispute. He explained that there was a clash between 2 Teshi groups, the Manche and Shikitele, after embarking on a fishing expedition to mark the harvesting of fish.